Hi, I'm Kathy Najimy, and on today's Roseanne show, Roseanne and I are going to talk a lot about girl stuff. You know, marriage, kids, shopping.
My doll.
Kathy talks about how she met her man.
You met him skydiving?
Jumping in.
You just jumped out of the plane and landed on this guy?
Then, Scottish comedian Billy Connolly talks about rough times on the road.
Have you been censored on stage?
A man knocked me out once in Australia.
Today on the Roseanne Show, from Veronica's Closet and King of the Hill, funny woman Kathy Najimy. The hilarious Scottish actor and comedian Billy Connolly. Oh, that's me. And one of the most popular novelists of all time, Sidney Sheldon. And now, here's Roseanne!
Your very specific topic today.
The topic of the day is
love. Okay, all right, love's cool. Who wants to ask something about love or say something about love? What about you? No? Now everybody's afraid because I screamed at them. Yes, you have a question. What is it?
I'd like to know what your secret is for how many men that have loved you, what your secret is, because I can't find one to love me.
Oh, I have a lot of money. And I really look cute in a G-string. That always helps, both of those. Yes, sir?
When do you know the difference between infatuation and real love?
The difference between infatuation and real love?
Yeah, when can you tell?
Oh, man, I don't know. Can you tell?
Not yet.
I think maybe real love is after you scream at them a lot and they're still there. Maybe that's how you know that it's not just infatuation. Yes, ma'am?
To me, food is love, so I'd like to know what your
you go.
So what your 3 favorite restaurants are and your 3 favorite foods.
Okay, cheese. Cheese. Like, think about it. You think you don't like cheese, but think about it like being on everything, all melted, and like with hot sauce and stuff and creamed and everything. Cheese is my #1 favorite food.
You got 2 more.
Donuts are my second because donuts are like a gift from God because not only are they like sugar and fat, but they're deep fat fried, and you just can't beat that. And chocolate is my 3rd favorite food, chocolate, because it gives you that lovely mood lift.
Okay, now you need the 3 favorite restaurants.
Oh, 3 favorite restaurants. Del Taco.
Oh, please.
No, it's got the best Mexican food. Del Taco, Carl's Jr., and I do like McDonald's.
Thank you.
I hope I get free food from all of them for saying that, too. Yes, sir.
Aside from wealth or fortune or fame, how important is it to you, Roseanne, for your fans to love you?
Oh, I don't give a damn about my fans. That is something that's kept me alive for 15 years, kept me moving forward, kept me wanting to get better, and now making me want to be able to give back. So it's very, very important. Thank you very much. I think that's about it. Yes, ma'am.
My husband and I are away from each other this week.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, is this going to make his heart grow fonder of me, or is he going to just take up with somebody else?
Well, what's he doing?
Well, he's going out to several parties while I'm gone. And a wedding and a funeral.
A wedding and a funeral.
That's all he's told me so far.
Okay, I think the funeral is going to bum him out so that, you know, he isn't going to be wanting to look for anybody at a funeral.
Oh, great.
Don't you think? What are you doing while you're away from him? That's the real question.
Well, I'm here. I'm at the best place right here.
Are you looking for any action?
Oh, no. I'm just, no way.
How long have you been married?
32 years.
Oh, you got that guy. He's tamed. He's never leaving the house. Don't even worry. Don't worry. I can tell I'm psychic. I pick up that vibe. Your husband is waiting for you at home with open arms.
Thank you.
He can't wait to see you again.
When do you know a guy's tamed?
Huh?
When do you know he's tamed?
When do you know a guy's tamed? Like when he thinks a big weekend's going to a funeral. Then you know you've got him. We have such a great show today. Coming up later, we have the very funny actor and comedian, Billy Connolly, who's also a great actor. And don't forget Sidney Sheldon, the popular writer who sold over, get this, 280 million books. How do you do that? It's amazing. And my first guest stars opposite Kirstie Alley on NBC's Veronica's Closet. Take a look.
How much would the average woman love to see someone that they can relate to on the cover of a catalog?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's because you have never experienced what it's like to not be the pretty girl.
Oh, Olive.
Oh, Olive? What, did you grow up with people saying things like, she's spunky, or she's got character? Don't worry, she'll grow into that head.
And she also starred in Sister Act, and she's the voice of Peggy Hill. Did you know that on Fox's King of the Hill? Please welcome Kathy Najimy. How cute is she?
Oh, go on. All right.
Come and sit down.
Okay.
Let me see your shoes. I have those shoes.
You do?
Yes, they're very cute.
I just stole them from the wardrobe department at work right before I came.
From my show?
No, from my show.
From your show. Oh, yeah. I steal everything from this show.
Absolutely.
And that shirt's cute, too.
Thanks.
You know, you are really a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And how much weight have you lost? About 700 pounds in your life?
Yeah, 700.
Me too.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to put them all back on in Thanksgiving. No, I lost 160, and then I got pregnant and gained 60, and I still am sort of fluctuating with that extra 25.
Do you still, like, think fat in your head all the time like I do? Yeah. I can't tell the difference if I weigh 100 or 200.
It doesn't matter. It's like how you feel in your clothes and how you feel that day. Like if I am like, well, I love like the tabloids now are saying that I weigh 135 pounds. So I used to hate the tabloids and now I love them. I'm like, what's in the Star today? Yeah, no, it's if I'm puffy and I don't feel good, you know. But I think about it every single day, but not all day long. Like I can live as a normal person and like how I look and have my husband and have sex and be fine. And then, but it's always there. And I don't think it's organic. I think it comes from the world making us feel like we're not quite right.
I know, but you can't get rid of it. It's the big war. Do most of the women here feel that way? Do you have that weight thing in your head that you just can't get rid of and it drives you insane?
And I don't think that's by accident. I don't think that's by accident.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, because think of all the time and energy you spend thinking about your weight, thinking about being too thin, having an eating disorder, what clothes are going to look right, your diet, your exercise. If we all cleared all that out of our mind, we could rule the world. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All that energy. It's
all the energy that we put to it.
That you do, worrying and thinking, all the energy you put into your body and your weight not being how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
If we did not have that, there would be no war, there would be no child abuse, there would be no what. We would rule the world.
Because you mean we'd feel more at peace with ourselves? Is
well,
that what you mean?
we would use our minds for something other than being worried about weight. But we're made to so feel like there's something not quite. Like when I lost all that weight, they asked me if I would do a book and a video, and I said no. Women don't need to open up one more damn magazine and see some star who's lost weight, who has a trainer and a nutritionist and a cook, and feel even worse like, not only am I fat, but she was fat and she lost weight. Why can't I lose weight? It's like, you're fine the way you are. Move on with life. Go on. Do what you need to do. And try, I mean, I don't. I still think about it, but try not to be obsessed with it. I think fat women are fine. Thin women are fine. Just live, you know? Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much.
If it was like only that easy to let it go, but you know you can't really let it go.
You can't, no.
And then when you lose weight, like, is it, you know, then everyone does treat you different, so you know it wasn't in your head.
Totally.
You know it was totally true. All your worst nightmares and your worst fears are totally true.
When I lost weight, I felt like a girl in an after-school special because all of a sudden, I would go into a bar, and before I went into a bar, it's like people would think I was nice and funny.
Yeah.
But all these men started coming up to me and being sexual and flirting, and I sort of lifted up above myself and watched and laughed hysterically, thinking, you wouldn't have looked at me, you wouldn't have spit on me 100 pounds ago. But all of a sudden, because you lose a few pounds, you know, you're acceptable. You're an acceptable girl. It's really weird. It's awful. It is kind of true.
But it was all true that everybody does judge books by their cover. They don't care what you're like underneath it.
Sad
it's all
to say,
like,
yes.
It's all like that, isn't it? It's really, really scary to be a woman. It's really scary.
I mean, not so much in the world, but in this this country.
You just got married.
I got married, yeah, in August. And it was, you know, I like to say a quaint little wedding, but it was a huge Schubert production.
And Gloria Steinem married you.
Gloria Steinem married me, which is, you know who Gloria Steinem is?
No, I mean, she's not your wife.
No, she didn't marry me.
No, she performed that.
She performed the wedding, yeah. Who's been an idol of mine. And you know, I have very few idols. You are one of them.
Oh, how nice.
There are so few people in show business to really respect, really. And so when you find one, not only do you love that they're good and funny and you respect them, but you're so thrilled that there's somebody, so you don't always seem like this person who doesn't like everybody, and I never like anybody. So Gloria Steinem and you and Susan Sarandon and Bette Midler and
Bette
Lily
Midler
Tomlin.
was here. And so was Lily.
Yeah.
I feel that way about them, too. And then I got to, like, hang out with them and interview them.
And can you believe it? I did a movie with Bette Midler. I still can't believe it.
That's right. Which movie was that?
Hocus Pocus. It was a silly movie.
Oh, you were witches. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And Sister Act, Whoopi, too.
Yeah, Whoopi's
awesome.
fabulous. But Gloria Steinem has been like my lord, you know?
Yeah.
So I called her up and said, Gloria, will you marry me? And she said, who knew the first time that I thought of saying yes to the question, will you marry me, would be from Kathy Najimy on the phone. And so she said...
What kind of a wedding ceremony did you have?
Very alternative. Gloria married us.
Wait a minute. Serious Girl Talk continues with Kathy Najimy. Don't go away.
Don't go away.
A citizen of the Republic of Texas. I work hard, I sweat hard, and I love hard. And I gotta smell good and look pretty while I'm doing it. So I comb my hair, I reapply lipstick 30 times a day. I do your dishes, I wash your clothes, and I clean the house. Not because I have to, Hank, but because of a mutual, unspoken agreement that I have never brought up because I am too much of a lady.
So, okay, here we are back, and I don't remember what I asked you, but it was something about your wedding, so
My wedding? Oh, well, you know.
Because we have footage.
That we had RuPaul bless the room with sage. We had, as a man, we had, of course, Gloria Steinem, and all month after she said yes, all I could think of was that she was going to be at my wedding. I so wasn't excited about getting married, but I was thrilled about Gloria Steinem.
So did you make your husband say that he'd obey you?
No, but you may kiss the groom. I kissed him before he kissed me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
we wrote our own vows. It was very touching. Our dog came down the aisle with the ring.
Aww.
And my baby, my 2-year-old girl, was the flower girl.
Because you guys had a 2-year-old baby by the time you got married.
Yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
sinners. And then...
That's very quaint.
Yeah. Very Hollywood.
And your husband's like 13 years younger than you, too, right?
He is, and you?
14 years younger. How much awesome... No, this is for all the women. This is for all the women out there. I'm telling you, you've got to get the younger guys. Am I right?
Totally.
They're so much better than the old guys.
Completely better. Yeah, there's no roles, and we both just support each other.
They're like not so scared of women
Strong
who are
women.
women, strong
Or successful women. Yeah.
How come that is? Is it because women like us raised them?
I think so, and also I think there's no competition, because if you're with somebody your own age, there tends to be a competition of how much money you bring in, how successful you are. And with him, he's just on his own road. He's an actor and a rock and roll guy. You have to come see his show. It's hilarious.
He's a rock and roll guy?
Yeah, he sings rock and roll
cool.
in a concert, but he only sings songs by women from the 80s.
That's cool.
It's really cool. Like I Am Woman, and I've Never Been to Me, and Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, and...
Oh my God, I sang all those in my singing show.
See? Did you really?
Yeah, I had this singing show, and it was like only for gay guys because nobody else liked it. But no, I sang medleys of. In fact, I did one HBO special on it.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I sang Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, the greatest bad song in the world.
Ever. And what about I've Never Been to Me?
I've been to paradise,
but I've never been to
me.
me. That's right.
And then the other great song is, I closed my show with it, the theme from Billy Jack.
That's one of the jewels, the songs of... We sing it for us now.
I think it would cost too much. I actually shrieked them rather than sang.
That'd be fun.
What about you skydiving?
You know what? I have to talk you into that because you've never been skydiving before.
No, Jews don't skydive.
Or swim?
No, we don't swim. We have enough trouble staying on the planet rather than going out and tempting things to like hit you in the head and take your life away.
Has anybody here been skydiving? Nobody? You bunch of wusses. There you go. It's fabulous.
Did you like it? He does?
I do too. I love it. And I'm not an athletic-y person, jock, anything like that. Or outdoorsy,
Is it because the endorphins hit real hard when you jump out?
And nothing hurts. The only scary part is when you're standing right on the edge and then they push you because you won't go.
They push you?
Well, there's somebody hooked up to you and he goes, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And he goes, so you have to go because you're hooked. And so you go, but once you hit the air, nothing hurts. It's not too cold. It's not too hard. The harness doesn't pull up on you. That's what I thought. And it's like being an angel. You just float through the air.
You mean you're not, like the first thing I'd think is, oh my God, where's that ripcord? Where's that ripcord? Where's that ripcord?
No, you have one and the guy with you has one and it's, I want you to do it with me.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not going to do any crazy stuff like that. I'm not going to jump out of anything, jump on anything, anything moving I'm staying away from. I'm not going to race. I'm not going to do anything like that because I'm a Jew. No, I'm not doing that. But I'll tell you what. If you want to go to Winchell's House of Donuts, I'll go there with you.
You know, my favorite restaurant is Del Taco, too.
Isn't Del Taco
Del Taco's
the best?
answer. Sometimes when I'm on a movie set and they say, we'll bring you anything you want. Do you want Ivy by the Shore? Do you want blah, blah, blah steakhouse? I say, I want 2 chicken burritos from Del Taco.
Absolutely.
Well, then nothing better.
With the green sauce.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the deluxe though, it has rice and black beans and the green sauce.
No,
so
I don't want any rice around my
I love a restaurant that you can just drive up. You don't have to wear makeup.
No, at all.
Don't you love that?
I love Del Taco and Taco Bell also. I like a lot.
Do you think that's why, like, we get fat though? I was wondering.
I wonder.
Is that why you get fat because you're like eating in your car when no one's seeing you? And
well, but that's not why. I don't eat secretly in my car. It's just that if I have to go from somewhere to somewhere and you have 5 minutes, then that's what you want. Okay,
but did you ever eat secretly? Because,
you know,
you're like, I didn't eat. All I had today was an apple.
Right.
And of course, it was in the mouth of a suckling
I don't know.
pig. But no one saw me, so it doesn't count. Are you into that?
No, I never have been. I like a lot of people around me. I like to sit. And I'm Lebanese, so we had all holidays where people sat for hours and just ate and ate and ate, or go out for dinner and eat and eat and eat. So I'm a, like, in-public eater.
Thank you for coming on my show.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks.
Coming up next, he's funny, he's foreign, and he lives in a big old castle. Comic Billy Connolly. My next guest was born here, #1, Scotland, and then moved here to #2, England, and now he lives here, #3, in Los Angeles, and I know where that is. Please welcome Scottish comedian and English actor, Billy Connolly.
Just sit down.
No, sit down, yeah. You kind of don't match, but...
Oh,
Where'd you get that suit, honey?
I got it in London. I love it.
What's it made of?
Shiny stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird, stiff stuff, but I do like it.
Yeah, it must be like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
some sort of silk.
I like out of the ordinary stuff.
You're a very handsome man.
Thank you
for
very
an old
much.
guy.
I know, a woman told me that the other day.
That you're handsome
I have
for an
never
old
been
guy?
handsome in my life, right? I've always been a freak, hairy.
Yeah.
But a woman, a kind of very, mind you, she was a bit homely herself. She, you know, that's the American sort of, isn't it, home? But she was nice, but she was like a roundy person. She came up and she said, "You're a very attractive man," and I didn't know what to do. And I thought maybe there was something wrong with her or something, you know. I thought she was going to say, "You killed Jesus," or one of those, you know, nutcase things. But I just felt stupid with my bagel and a cup of tea. Yeah, fine. But I'm not used to that. So when people say I'm handsome, I don't know what to do.
That's how I feel when people tell me I look good. It's like I just...
You do. You look smashing.
I can't stand to hear that, so keep it to yourself.
You've got cheekbones. You didn't used to have cheekbones.
I always had cheekbones. They just had a lot of fat over them.
Yeah.
But I always had them.
You had secret cheekbones.
I had hidden cheekbones. And like hidden eyes, too.
Oh,
like when you lose weight.
Your eyes are very nice. They're very dark, yeah.
Yeah, they're very dark.
They're delightful, yeah.
Why, thank you. You look just like my head shrinker.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's the beard. Beards have this weird effect. When I was doing a sitcom, this is the truth, I had a beard, and the head of the class, and they asked me to take it off because they had done research and they found that beards are sinister.
Oh, really?
And I said, has anybody told Jesus about this, you know? But you know...
Yeah, but maybe in a sitcom with kids, because you were with kids.
Well, I found it very weird. I thought beards were soft and Santa Claus and tra-la-la. But no, they said they're sinister.
Maybe it was just you, honey.
Maybe it's just Americans. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's just you.
Maybe I'm sinister, yeah.
You are kind of sinister.
I am.
You are.
I always have been.
You do like a kind of a raw comedy thing.
Yeah, I do. I'm a very... Although they find it raw, I don't find it raw at all. I swear a lot. I curse.
Yeah.
But I've always done that. That's the way I lived in Scotland. I worked in a shipyard. I'm not a softie. I curse all the time, and I don't care what you think, you know.
Right.
But it's when you come on television,
right,
people get all upset, you know, because they treat you like a burglar. They say, but you're coming into people's living rooms. You're not. You're just on the telly. Turn it off and shut up. You know, I'm not climbing in the window and swearing at your children. And television are so scared, especially in Britain. See, I came here in the 70s, the early 70s. Yeah. The Vietnam War and all that was on. I was a folk singer in Boston in a bar.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm watching television, and a Preparation H commercial comes on. I'd never seen it in my life. I didn't know what Preparation H. I'd never heard of it. And I was rolling on the floor. I couldn't believe.
Did you know what it meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're saying, because there's a couple dancing, you know, that kind of...
Yeah. Right.
But they're in their own house. They're dancing for no apparent reason, you know. It's not like a party. There's just the two of them.
Yeah.
Kind of two fat people. And the guy says... No, the guy goes, oh. And the woman says, are your hemorrhoids playing up again? So I hit the floor. I'm eating the carpet at this point. And I thought, well, if his hemorrhoids are playing up, why is he holding his forehead? You know, so I went to... After that, I was in Britain. I was on television in London. And I said, I want to do this routine. I want to tell them about this Preparation H commercial that I've seen. So they sent a note upstairs. You may find this difficult to believe. BBC is terribly, terribly awfully British and blah, blah, blah. And so they sent a note upstairs to see if it was okay to talk about, you know, that department. A note came back and it said, bottoms, by the way. Bottoms are all right to talk about, as long as nothing is going into or coming out of them. If you curse in
Have you been censored on stage? Because, like, I've been booed off a few times.
Oh, God, I've been thrown off, kicked out. A man punched me. A man knocked me out once in Australia. He ran... I'll never forget him. He was a Scottish-Australian prison officer. And a nice guy. I mean, it's a deadly cocktail, that. But he ran up on stage. I'll never forget him. He says, my wife's ears are not garbage cans. After I'd told a funny joke, and he whacked me. Well, he missed the first time because my beard was long. And he thought my chin came to the end of my beard. So I went... So I said, is that your best shot? And he said, no. Whack. And in those days, I wore tights. I used to wear tights on stage.
So we'll hear more about the tights when we come back. Yeah. We'll find out what the Queen of England has against Billy Connolly.
Good night, my 05. I save up to 60% on international calls with 10-10-345. And every call's a chance to win a prize. Like cruises, color TV, even $1 million. With that kind of cash, I could keep Scotty on a very short leash. Ah, ooh.
Be a lucky dog. Dial 10-10-345 today.
Feel the refreshment of Cert's powerful mix.
The New York Times writes, surprisingly smart and winning. A mix of sharp topical conversation, occasional comedy sketches, and social work without sentimentality.
All right.
Entertainment Weekly says Roseanne remains endlessly fascinating. It's fun to watch her. See what all the buzz is about on The Roseanne Show.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Sparks. Congratulations on your last match.
Oh, thank you very much, good fella. Do you feel that grip?
I do, sir. I do.
Powerful enough to snap the neck of a small beast, and yet sensitive enough to caress the tender throat of a young castrato, coax a song from him.
I have to say, before we go into that whole, you are a great actor, man. You really are.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Brown.
I'm glad you liked it.
Oh my God,
really
you are great. I'm so glad that you got a chance to show how great you are.
Thank you. It's made my life so pleasant.
I bet it has.
Women love that movie. Women, particularly.
It was about the Queen of England and her love
Queen
affair.
Victoria and a love affair with John Brown. Yeah, he fell in love with her. He was a gillie, a gamekeeper. And they fell in love with one another, and there was no evidence of any sex or anything in our research. Of course they did. They were together for 12 years, but we didn't have any evidence, so we didn't show any.
I don't know. It is the royal family.
Oh, they don't do it. They don't go to the bathroom either, you know.
I don't think so.
Oh, no. They just sit and talk posh all day. Hello, Charles. Hello, Mummy. Where's Daddy? Shooting tigers, darling. Where's Andrew? Don't know. That's what they do for a living. They do
Well, you know them.
They
You know them, don't you?
Cheerio.
No, you hang out with the royal family.
I do. They're very nice. I don't hang out with them.
Yes, you do.
I'm friendly with Prince Charles, and he's a delightful man.
Is he funny?
He's the worst hatchet job by the press in the history of the world.
Absolutely.
He's a very nice man. I knew Diana. She was a delightful girl. I know Sarah and Andrew, and I've met the Queen.
Is the prince funny though?
He's not. Well, he's not particularly funny, but he loves funny people. He likes. He likes.
He seems like he has a
He's
good
kind of
sense
Monty
humor.
Python kind of funny.
Oh, that's
you
cool.
know,
That's what I thought.
Posh kind of funny. So kind of silly walks and all that. He loves all that stuff.
What about the Queen? Has she got
The Queen's nice. She has a good sense of humour. Her husband, Prince Philip, he has a great sense of humour. But she doesn't really. She's kind of. They're a bit like space cadets, the royal family, you know.
Really?
Yeah, they
like
live. Well, one of them told me. One of them told me once when I was sober. No, one of them.
Does the Queen enjoy a cocktail?
Oh yes,
I bet
she does.
I figured she did.
likes. I think it's vodka and tonic she drinks.
Wow.
But the boys had to practice sitting still when they were little boys for hours on end because of the limousines. You know, you can't do this. Scratch your bum. You know, you have to practice sitting still. It's a weird life. They're the biggest. They're the most famous dysfunctional family in the world. Yeah,
and it's,
basically.
Well, and it's forced on them, the dysfunction.
Absolutely, they can't help it. They're like in a zoo, you know. Yeah. It's a weird life. I like them. They're nice people, you know. That's cool. And I have a wee castle of my own. I pretend to be a royal, you know.
You live in a castle,
I have a castle in Scotland, yeah. Well, it's a house. It's a baronial house. It has towers and a flag and all, you know, and land and stuff. It's a brilliant place. You know, my children love it. They bring their wee American friends over with them and they all play around being kings and queens. It's very nice. We have a ghost, which is the funniest thing. It's a headless dog. I've never seen this. But the local people say there's a headless dog ghost up there. And I thought, well, that's the best thing I ever heard of. Because every dog I know comes up and sniffs my crotch. And I'm going to, you know, what do you do when a dog does that? And people always say, I think it can smell my dog when dogs do it. And you think,
that is what they say.
Oh, yeah? But I think a breed of headless dogs could catch on, you know. Guaranteed not to sniff anybody's crotch. You know, you take it out for a drag and take it home. You don't feed it. It's got no head, you know. You can shove food up its anal cavity or something.
I don't want you to go because you're so funny, but will you come back and talk to me when I have more time?
There's nothing I would love more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. Woo! That wasn't bad for an old man. Next up, a man who has sold more than 250 million novels in 51 languages, author Sidney Sheldon. Oh, my gosh. My next guest has written over a dozen bestsellers. He's won an Oscar and a Tony, and he created 2 of your all-time favorite sitcoms. Please welcome Sidney Sheldon. Thank you for being here.
My great pleasure. I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you. I'm a big fan of yours, too. That's very nice of you. You've sold over 250 million books.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what kind of an amazing chord did you hit with, like, everyone on Earth, or what?
Well, I'm in over 100 countries, 51 languages, but, you know, I ask myself why a truck driver in Thailand and an English professor in Norway would be reading my books. And if there's any one reason I think that my books are successful, it's because my characters are very real to me. When I'm writing, I feel everything, every emotion that they're going through. On a plane a couple of weeks ago, my wife, Alexandra, came up to me and said, "Why are you crying?" And I didn't know I was crying. I was writing a scene where a character was in trouble. And I think because I feel that so deeply, my readers feel it.
So you were writing a scene on the plane and crying?
Yes.
Did you know you were writing a scene, or were you just
I knew I was no, I was actually writing it.
You were in the act of writing?
Yes.
Do you ever feel like you're, like, channeling these people who maybe are in another dimension that are just, like, coming through your brain onto paper?
Roseanne, I feel that all my books are given to me. If you asked me how to create, I wouldn't know how to do that, but it's given. I think anyone with a talent has no right to take credit for that talent. I think it's God-given, and it's our obligation to work at it.
I think so, too. And isn't it great to, like, doesn't it feel good when you can do something like that, where you can just bring something that makes people feel good? Isn't that great?
It's what, you know what means much more to me than the numbers of books that I've sold? Are letters I get, and people are touched. I got a letter from a young girl. She was in a hospital, and she wrote that she had had a heart attack, and she was going to die. It was major. She was 21 years old. Oh, my God. And she wouldn't let her parents come in the hospital room or her boyfriend. She just wanted to die and get her life over with. And someone dropped a copy of The Other Side of Midnight at her bedside. And she wrote me that she just picked it up and started glancing through it. And pretty soon she started reading it. And when she was through, she said that she was so caught up in the book and the character, she was ready to face life again. She forgot about herself. That's what makes it more interesting, more important to me than the numbers.
And you never know how your work, or even the things you do that aren't work, you never know how somebody else is going to receive it or what somebody else is needing and things they get from it. But also, you don't know the great things that people out there give to you. Isn't that great, too?
Absolutely.
It's just a great place.
Yes.
Did you always know you were a writer?
Well, I sold my first poem when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
And my mother and father dropped out of school at the 3rd grade. My father's proudest boast was he had never read a book in his life. He was very proud. He was a street fighter and a salesman. He was into everything. He was a hustler. And I wrote a poem, and I gave it to him, and I said, "Would you send it in to this children's magazine that I read?" And he said, "Yeah." And I later found out he sent it in, but he didn't want to be embarrassed when they turned it down. So he took my name off it and put my uncle's name on it. And a couple weeks later, he was having lunch with my uncle, who said, "Why would that magazine send me a check for $5? So I sold my first poem under my uncle's name.
Wow. That's amazing. Was your dad was kind of ashamed that you were writing?
No, he was nervous that I was writing poetry. He was nervous that I was writing and very nervous that I was writing poetry.
Did he think you were weird because you were writing poetry?
Well, he thought I should be out playing baseball instead of writing.
Was your father alive when you won an Oscar?
Yes, he was. And, you know, he was proud then, and he could boast that his son worked at Hollywood. But my mother loved reading, and she always encouraged me to read.
But what great validation would that be for that 10-year-old boy and then later to win an Oscar and all the other things that you've won? Well, we're going to take a commercial, and I'm going to ask you 100 more questions when we come back.
All right.
I'll ask Sidney about his new novel. Stick around.
On the next Roseanne show, Roseanne squares off with Jesse Jackson.
Shoot your best shot.
We're back with Sidney Sheldon to talk about his new novel, Tell Me Your Dreams. We'll talk about that. But first, we can't talk about that yet, because first I have to talk about with you how you created two of everybody's favorite sitcoms. I mean, okay, first you win an Oscar, and then you go to TV, which nobody ever does. But you created the Patty Duke Show.
Mm-hmm. Patty Duke Show, I Dream of Jeannie.
And I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
And Heart to Heart. That's right, you did do Heart to Heart. And Heart to Heart. So it's three of our favorites.
Yeah, thank you.
How did they convince you to work in television after you'd already won an Oscar?
Well, in those days, if you worked in motion pictures, you didn't do television.
Right.
And my agent called and asked if I would create a show for Patty Duke. And I said, I don't think so. And he said, would you meet with her as a courtesy? And I said, of course. So I had lunch with Patty and with her agents. And by the end of the lunch, I was in love with her. She was then, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. She was so hungry for love. She had had a terrible background. And she was extraordinarily talented and sweet and warm. I took her home to my wife. We had dinner. And while my wife and I are talking, I realized that Patty is in the kitchen doing the dishes.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, I said I would create a show for her, and I created the Patty Duke Show.
Now, that should be a lesson to these actresses out there that are talking about they can't get the roles in this. They just need to do more housework for people.
Absolutely.
What about I Dream of Jeannie, which was a really great show. I love that show.
Thank you. There had been shows about Jeannie, but it was always Burl Ives.
Right.
The enormous man coming out of a bottle.
It was never any sexy woman.
No. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a beautiful, nubile woman coming out of a bottle, half naked, saying, what can I do for you, master? When the network bought it, they suddenly realized what they had bought was a sitcom. And in those days, they were very strict about these things. They bought a sitcom about a half-naked woman living with a bachelor saying, what can I do for you?
Master.
And I started getting memos, 30 pages long. Don't let them look at her, don't let them. And finally, after the second show, the memos kept going down, and they stopped. I wasn't trying to get away with anything. I was just having fun.
But they wouldn't let you show the navel and all that stuff now. And, you know, now look at everybody's half naked.
Everything, yeah.
It was a great show. Heart to Heart was a great show, too.
Well, thank you. Yeah, wonderful cast, very talented actors. I've been lucky with the shows I've done. I've worked with great people.
Man, you hit the mother load, though. You must be the richest guy on earth. 500 million books and these three massive... No, you're way richer than me, I bet. Want to arm wrestle? We'll see who's... But here's your new book, Tell Me Your Dreams, which is kind of interesting to me because the protagonist, is that the right word?
Yes.
The star of the book? Oh, you didn't want me to tell that.
Well, no, I'll say there are three women involved in a series of murders. And the police and FBI are going crazy because none of the clues match. And when they finally figure out who it is, there's an enormous trial. And it's based on reality. It's based on real cases. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there have been murder cases through the years that involve this kind of thing. So I had fun writing this book. It really obsessed me and took me over.
What did it do to you?
It kept me excited. It takes me 1.5 to 2 years to write a novel. I wrote Tell Me Your Dreams in 6 months. I couldn't let go of it.
Oh, wow.
The characters led me through the story.
What do people mean when they say that? What do writers mean when they say the characters led me through the story?
What it means is that you sit there and the ideas pour out, they flow. And you have to, it's hard to keep up with them. It goes so fast.
Do you
it's
pretend like you're
dictated.
that character? Like you get possessed by that character?
I'm not possessed by it, but I am that character. If I write a scene where someone is hungry, I'm hungry. If I write a scene where they're angry, I'm angry. I'm in that. Each character is totally different. If I'm writing a scene where someone is sexy, I feel sexy.
Well, is it kind of like when you're a kid and you're playing pretend? Where you're like, now I'm going to go over here.
It's more real than that, and you don't play it. It takes you over. You're not playing a part. You become that part. You become that character. And there's nothing more exciting than creativity.
Now, if you weren't writing these books and stuff, would people think you were crazy if you were doing that?
Oh, I assume
they
so.
would, wouldn't they?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think people...
No.
No, they think you were crazy if you're going
That's so
around
fun.
acting like other people all the time.
I only do that in my office when I'm writing. I don't go around being other people.
Well, I mean, thank God you're a writer, and thank God I'm a writer. Because if we weren't writers and if we were just like working at like Talker or something,
we'd be in trouble.
We'd be scary. We'd be in big trouble. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for being on my show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
What a wonderful person you are.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today and the audience at home and all you people here. And look at this awesome bag that matches my chair that this woman has. It's very cool. I like this. Let's see what you've got. Oh, my God. You are the most wonderful woman alive. Check this out, what you've got in your purse. All this candy. All right. Oh, my God. Are you a woman after my own heart or what? Wow. This kind of chocolate is good, too. Can I have these? Thank you. Bye, everybody. Do you have any candy?
Tomorrow at 4, here on Channel 8, Oprah joins book club author Pearl Cleage, counting down a special list of things every woman should know, from gardening and cooking to self-defense and money management. Then, Oprah unveils the next book club book the whole country will be reading. It's all new Oprah, tomorrow at 4, followed by News 8 at 5, here on Channel 8.